All right. Welcome back, gentlemen. Sorry, we're a little late tonight. We got disorganized. I had a lot of stuff going on at the house. But, so, how are you both? What are we working on?
Got some of my GoBricks parts here, or WeBrick.
Oh, the WeBrick. Yeah, I was going to ask you how that went.
I'm starting to figure it out. So.
Did you get any of the window pieces folks were complaining about?
I've been doing better than they have, so mine aren't so bad. Let me, I gotta change my audio here.
All right. How are you, Chris? How you been doing?
Doing pretty good. I thought I was running late.
Yeah. It was spur of the moment. Like I said, I've just been a whole day of just me being behind. But I don't know. It was a good day. I've had a good day. So. Yeah, and I thought
I was running late.
Yeah. I didn't know if I was going to even be able to stream until like an hour ago. So. What's your camera on there, Brian? Do you want me to? True. So yeah, Chris, anything new going on?
Did you already have a topic picked for tonight?
Surprise! We're
Are you working on any builds you're working on?
I had a busy day as far as like my Hogwarts mock Lego build, but nothing really on the constructs side this weekend.
Because I've still, for quite some time now, I've been going through storage and things I got in boxes and things I've forgotten about, and deciding, well, I don't even remember that that I had this, so
Right.
I'm going to sell it on eBay or figure out how to do consolidation. Like there are times in the past, how with some items when you buy it, you get upset because the box is crushed in some way or damaged. But then 3 years later, the box is completely unrecognizable. It's smashed. And then eventually, like, well, I'll just take this box and throw it away and put all the parts in with this box. Then you forget that you put it in that box because, a lot of times there's empty space inside the box.
Yeah.
And I've fit the Talon Fighter set with the Point Dread. I've got 2 sets actually in one box. And I kept on noticing, well, I've only got 2 boxes, but I know I got at least 3 or 4 of this set. Where, and I keep moving things, empty out drawers, and I figure, okay, I can eliminate. It's not in this drawer. It's not in this box. It's not in this storage crate. Where is it? And then I'm like, well, I'm going to rebuild this set because it was fun. And when I dump it out, I'm like, well, I have 2 complete sets here. That's where I put it. I hid it from myself. And I'm like, have you ever gone through that? And like you hide certain, not really hide it, but like you put things in safe places so they won't get lost, but then you forget where you put them.
No, I do exactly the same thing. I literally have so I have a lot of sets I've bought for my large display I'm building for the shows I go to, and I'll have like 4 copies of the same gas station, and I'll put them all in the same box.
Right.
Because a lot of times I'll open up sets and I'll sell off the vehicles or the figures for the 2nd or the 3rd copy, keep just the building parts, and then put that in just one bag and then throw it in with the other set I've already got, knowing I don't really keep many sets sealed.
Mm-hmm.
I think right now with the MotU line, the only one I've got sealed is Battle Bones, just because I haven't opened it yet to build it.
Right. And you notice like the box is unopened. It's unopened, right?
Yeah.
When you shake the box, you can hear things rattling around in there because of all that empty space. That I know you can fit 2 complete sets of like just the parts, because when they're in the larger factory sealed bags, they take up more space. But I've got like little Ziploc bags that are, I think, 7 inches by 4 inches, and I fit all the pieces to the entire set in 2 of those bags, and then I can fit like 6 of those bags in one actual box that the one entire set came in. That I had 2 complete sets of the Point Dread in one box, and there's still space in there. I can still move it around. Like that was what kind of fooled me, was when I picked up the box and shook it, I'm like, okay, this is a complete set, but it was actually 2 complete sets.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking
I've got
3 in
I've
there.
got 5 routons in the same box, because they're all stuffed in one Ziploc bag, because I sold off the figures.
2 sets of the battle ram in one box. And I remember it was the Roton set that I remember, actually sending it back, where, I took it to Kohl's. Kohl's has a return policy with Amazon, but you take it there and then they return it for you. And then they do the thing with the electronics where you get your refund, or they order you another one. And like, now I've convinced myself I have to keep this other box, because I complained and sent the product back because the box was smashed. When things like Lego and Mega Bloks, they're in pieces when you get them. That like I can't say that the Lego and Mega Bloks pieces are indestructible, but it's really hard to break them.
No, but that brings up a good point.
Have you ever broken a piece?
Yeah, I broke pieces all the time. But as far as like
piece, though?
The box showing up and the boxes damaged when you get it in the mail, I would only say that is annoying if you are an investor. If you're buying these sets not to build, but just for the money, just to hold it for the money, you want that box to be in mint condition. I get damaged boxes all the time, and I don't care because I'm opening it.
Yeah.
All that stuff goes in recycle the burn pile to me anyway.
Yeah,
you're right.
There's lots of people on eBay right now that they have retired Mega Bloks kits that are in unopened boxes, factory sealed, and they go for large amounts of money. There was one of the Halo sets. It was a Halo Prowler. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the different vehicles and stuff they had, but it had the stealth version of the Spartans. They were in the black armor, and then it was a team of the brutes that are kind of like Sasquatches, and they're considered villains. And I bought 2 sets of that, one for me to build, to have, and another set that I put away, to sell later on. And then I ended up selling both sets on eBay, and the unopened set sold easily for twice the amount of the 100% complete set, where it's like that set specifically didn't come with stickers. It was tampagraphs, but a lot of the older sets had stickers that I would not use the stickers, because I knew eventually I'll probably sell this to someone else, and I won't be able to market it as unused stickers, even though back then you could probably order another set of stickers. Now I'm being told you can't do that. That's one of the things. Have you ever had to contact Mega Constructs to get missing pieces?
One time,
because when it was Mega Bloks,
I bought some Halo battle
they told me that we don't care how often you contact us for missing pieces, as long as you have the name of the set, what the piece number is, and then there's like, remember, you notice there would be a 2x6 thick block that had numbers and letters on it. Did you notice that the numbers and letters correspond with a block by the UPC code on the back of the box? It would have those same numbers on there, or did you not notice that?
Oh, so one of the bricks, one of the larger bricks, that code printed on there to be the UPC.
It's not the UPC. It's the code, and it's located near the new UPC on the box.
Yeah, I noticed that on blind bag figures. A lot of the bases for the blind bag figures have those codes on them.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's an embossed code. It's embossed code. It's not actually printed. It's like pushed into it. Right. It's that same idea that they would have a specific code and it would be on the box. They're not doing that exactly the same way now. Now they're printing the code on the instructions, and I can't tell whether or not there's any. Have you seen any codes on one specific block? I don't know what you would call it. The coded block. Like sometimes some of the kits they would have like that angled piece, and on the back of the angled piece it would say made in China, and there would be some code on there. I'm not finding the codes on any of the modern kits anymore. That was something that they were doing probably 10 years ago. What does that code right there say?
Yeah, so these are the coded plates you're talking about. These are the top two are from pretty sure they're from Ninja Turtles. Not sure what this blue one is. It's probably American Girl or Minions.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But yeah, you're right. I've seen
now when you order missing pieces, they want you to provide like 3 forms of identification: the part number that would be the instructions, and then there's a specific code that's put. As far as from what I understand, is different on every set of instructions, like a serial number, or a number that you would register, and you have to give them the actual part number, the code that's on the instructions, and then that code is supposed to also correspond with another code that's either on the box or on one of those blocks. Where since they became Mega Constructs, I've given up on bothering with that. I haven't really tried it, but I remember it was probably 10 years ago, maybe 2013, somewhere around then, when I would call Mega Bloks, and like the same woman named Linda would answer the phone every single time.
Yeah. She's like, "You again, Chris? What you got?"
Right. What'd you lose this time? And I was like, how many is there a limit? Do you keep a limit on me ordering? And like, no, every time you call, but after that, when it became Mega Constructs, I remember, calling it a request, and it took a long time to get the part, longer than I expected. And then the worst part was the part they sent me was a broken part.
Oh,
it was a tripod. It was like a missile launcher or a mortar launcher, and it had this little low profile 3-piece tripod that would snap on to the studs, and almost every single time one of those little tripod pieces would be broken off. And so I decided, I have 3 or 4 of these that are all broken. And of course, now when you put it together and, push it down onto the stud, you can't tell it's broken. The way it would break is when you would remove it from the stud, one of them would stick and would snap off. And so every time I would put it back on a base, I would just line up the leg of the tripod so it looks like it's not broken. But you and I both know that piece is broken. And so I remember ordering a replacement, and they sent me a replacement. And then a few months later, I ordered another replacement, and then the replacement they sent me was already broken in the mail. If I didn't know any better, I would think they sent me someone else's broken one that they returned. Like it was an exchange for a broken piece. But I remember getting a letter back from them after that saying that they already sent me one. And I'm like, but Linda said, oh, wait, that's right. Linda don't work here no more. Because that was back, she was with, when it was Mega Bloks. When it became Mega Constructs, the whole thing changed. Now I guess she retired.
Oh, too bad they didn't keep Linda. She sounded like she was the one getting stuff done.
Well, customer satisfaction is what's important.
Right.
You've heard the saying, the customer is always right.
I hate that saying, honestly.
Yeah, well, I remember one guy I used to work with who he dealt with customers. He had a funny sense of humor. He would say, "Rule number one: the customer is always right. Rule number two: they should be punished for their arrogance."
Right. Well, I remember I applied a job for a Home Depot once, and they were really big on that customer's always right thing. And they're like, "Do you agree?" And I'm like, "No, customers are going to get themselves killed." Okay. You ready to share, Brian?
Yeah, I got an image here. All right. So
Ooh.
one of these bricks is the wee brick, and the other one, we've got three color tones here. There's Mega, Lego, and wee brick.
All right.
Guess what's what?
The bottom one is Mega Blocks.
I'm going to say the bottom's Lego, the top is Mega, and the 1x2x2 in the middle is the wee brick. Because I've not seen that exact shade, I don't think.
Yep, Nate is right. So I think it's pretty consistent. So it looks like it's not a complete color match, but I don't know. For my needs, I don't care because look, I mean, I already got two shades of sand green. Now I got a
But
third.
yeah, I like the multi-tone when they're similar in tone. It was just like how they purposely put those green bricks in to kind of break up the monotony of it being completely monotone. It actually gives it a more realistic look.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's not a dead-on match. So, but I mean, for me that's fine. I think Lego people might have a problem with that if you're trying to match Lego perfectly. So we'll see. I don't know. I think they'll work fine for me. And then I'll be able to review more stuff later on too.
Yeah, that the wee brick part's definitely got more of a gray tint to it
Yeah, I've
than
got
the sand green from the others.
I've got some dark bluish gray and some olive greens, and I'll compare those later too. They're probably not going to be right on, but again, I'm building an old stone castle, and I don't really care if there's a little bit of variation.
Right. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think once you get it built, that variation in the colors is going to be a good thing.
Right.
I like the way you can mix up the shades.
Yeah, it worked for me.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you think is the best source for news or rumors on can anyone produce a more modern or a more current picture of Snake Mountain other than the one that we've been looking at for
Oh,
months now?
well, I think we are the source of news for the most part.
What?
I think we are the source of news for the most part.
Yeah, I've not seen any new
News
pictures.
and rumors are not the same thing. That's the thing, like a lot of things, are rumors. Like I remember years ago, sitting in, the meeting hasn't started yet kind of thing. And there would be, rumors going around. And I would say, obvious, real loud. I go, well, I notice Richie isn't here right now. Let's blame him because he's not here to defend himself. And people are like, oh, we can't do that. Like, then don't do it when the movie starts. Because that's the difference between the difference between facts and hearsay, rumor, and innuendo.
Right.
That it's like, are you a troublemaker? Yes, I am. Or they'll ask me, do you have a problem with authority? Yes, I do. But it kind of confounds them because they're expecting an argument. They don't know. They don't know where to go after you go with that. Do you have a problem with authority? Yeah, you got it. I do.
Unless you are the authority.
Well, the thing is, like in my past, I would always be the man with many hats kind of thing, and I would purposely make my job seem impossible to do and magical at the exact same time, where I would spend weeks at a time, where I would work like 10 and 12-hour days to completely automate the systems that I would have to work with, so that later on, when the factory was full, all I would be seen doing is walking around with a coffee cup telling jokes to everyone. I'm like, does that guy even work? How does he earn a paycheck? What does he do? What exactly do you do? And I'm like, my job is impossible. I actually work magic. Like, whereas they have no idea that I'm in there at 3 o'clock in the morning, automating some system.
Yeah, already.
And like that's the way I've always done it. Where I would just be walking by, where I've already done research on a certain product, and I'll come walking by, and then I'll just turn my head and say, "You're off by 3/4 of an inch," and they're like, "How does he do that? How does he know?" And then later on, they find out, "Oh yeah, he was right." Like, because I ran an inspection on the entire thing already. Right? I would have to do, I'm not doing math in my head. I'm doing math with a calculator in a computer the night before, and then just dispensing that information off the cuff. So it looks like I know what I'm talking about, which I do know what I'm talking about, but I'm not doing math in my head. That's, I'm not that smart. But I am pretty tricky, And there were some times where I would have to run a machine, and they had done something with our bonuses where we have what's considered scrap or waste, and the more waste we produce, the less of a bonus that we would get. And so it became ineffective for us to actually try and make it past quota. So when we would run tags, we would only produce enough tags for the quota, but throughout the week, we would produce extra product and then hide it somewhere in the warehouse. So when it would come Friday, we wouldn't even run our machines. We would just go and dig out our product that was hidden, print tags for it, and the guy who's running the floor, he's like, "Well, you're not going to make quota." I'm like, "Yeah, well, trust me, I'll make quota." They're like, "It's already past lunch and you haven't even turned your machine on." Like, "Don't you worry about it. I'll make my quota." Without turning my machine on, at the end of the day, I show up at the office, I go, "Here's my quota."
Nicely done. All right, what are we looking at here, Brian?
Where's the incentive to actually do beyond, what we're supposed to do if we're not getting paid for it?
No. So is this a new page with the weapons?
Kind of. It's weird, man, because we don't have the power sword in this kind of copper color, do we?
Right.
Not yet.
So this is on the Mega site. I'll just go back.
Who carried a sword like that, or is it just a variation of another character we've already gotten?
I don't know, but it's unique that they're doing this. And the weird thing is that I don't think this is finished, because this is the weird thing. I clicked on this Grayskull laser rifle. Actually, let me make it bigger. I'll zoom in. So Grayskull laser rifle, and it shows these other three. But I don't remember if we have all these in green. So where they're going with it, I'm not quite sure.
Well, the blue set was the weapons rack that came with Point Dread.
Yeah.
And then they were like, what color would you describe that? Orange or yellow or cheddar? The color that the weapons rack that came with Castle Grayskull.
Well, the rack,
the only thing, right?
The weapons are kind of like the Zodak.
The only thing I'm thinking is there's going to be another set that's going to have another weapons rack, and it's going to be all these weapons in just another color. They're not specifically geared to go to any specific character.
Isn't this one here?
That's my guess.
This one called the Grayskull Mace. Isn't that Stratos's classic mace?
I've got that one in gray in my Grayskull. I have not seen that.
That was the same one I used for Clawful. Clawful had one, but it was minty green color.
Right. What color was Moss Man's? I can't remember what he
had. Right. Yeah. Originally, Moss Man had that, and I'm guessing brown.
Yep, brown.
Or it could have been copper.
All right.
So whatever. I don't know. This is a new development. For some reason, they've got these weapons listed, or I haven't been paying attention.
So they're just labeled under accessories. They don't have like a description for any of them.
No, they're just in there, and you can click around and go left or right, and it's not really making a lot of sense. So did Stratos have any weapons in the original release?
The original Heroes pack.
No, I mean 1982.
Oh, yeah, he had a mace. I swear he had a mace.
I know, I swear I did too, but I'm not sure if he did when I think that might be something that got retconned through.
Now you're gonna make me hold on.
Yeah, I'm searching it now too.
I remember there's a website I used to go to look at the old figures that showed them as is, for their release. Let's see if I can find that again.
I got them up here. I swear this has got to be probably vintage. I don't know if I see a weapon in there.
He's backpack and wings for sure, but I mean, yeah, is that like the Mandela effect? You think he had a mace?
I think it is, man.
You always put one in his hand as a kid. I mean,
well, I think it's the recent ones, the more recent lines that have been giving him that staff. Well, here's this green thing. This is custom. I know that's not original, but that's like the thing we build, right? It's the egg staff that he
yeah, I think that's what came with him in the Mega Constructs release.
Right, that's what we built. I don't know, but anyway, let's back up to what else I'm finding here. I mentioned this last time. There's the Snake Mountain figures are gone. So
they are.
These figures here.
So they've been pulled off the site, so maybe they're changing the art.
Oh, maybe not. Or maybe it's just a leak. Maybe it wasn't supposed to go that early.
We got another guest. Hey, Rob.
Oh, man. I'm about to leave. I gotta leave because Rob's here. Sorry, man. Yeah, I gotta go early.
That's fine. So so that's just the Mega Constructs site, huh?
Yep. So I better go, but it's good to see you briefly, Rob. Everybody else.
Nice to see you too.
Well, thank you for coming on as long as you could. We appreciate it.
Catch you next time.
See you then. Mr. Rob, what have you been up to?
Well, I have
your school year winding down finally.
It is starting to wind down. It is. I think I got about 2 more weeks, and then that'll conclude this school year.
My kids have like 3 days of watching movies and field day left. That's it. They're done
there's a lot. There's a lot of.
My son's already like, why do I need to go? And I'm like, for shits and giggles. I don't know. Like, so I don't get a letter from your principal again.
Yeah, there'll definitely be a lot of those little celebrations here at the end, and movie watching and that kind of stuff. It is an interesting time of year as you bring it in for a landing.
Exactly what it is as it winds down. Let's see if I'm gonna go to that. Go back to that website.
For some reason, I cannot bring you guys up on my screen. I'll be right back.
All right. He's gonna hop out. All right.
I'm on a website called battleramblog.com, and I'm looking at like there was the production shot, like the comic book art they had of Stratos, winged warrior, and he's not holding a weapon.
Okay.
And when I scroll down, even like the cross cell art that they would put on the back of the box. They would always usually try and have somewhere nearby, like the image they had of He-Man. His power sword is stuck in the ground behind him, and he's holding the battle axe and his shield. Whereas this picture, it's the gray, and he has like the regular human feet, and his red, like the wings that would attach to his arm, and the blue harness.
Yeah.
But he's not holding the weapon. And then I scroll down, and it shows that exact same figure as the actual toy, and he's not holding the weapon. And then there's a picture of him standing in front of Castle Grayskull with no weapon. And I'm wondering, like, was his only accessory his harness and his wings? Because he had, those wing attachments, but I'm not finding any photo of him actually holding a weapon. Whereas, they got,
I guess it's just like I said, it's a Mandela effect.
Merman had that sword that was supposed to be coral, even though it looked like he was holding a giant cob of corn.
Right.
Manny Faces had that orange laser gun that he holds.
Yeah.
Which is different from the Zodak laser gun that had like those fins on it, and that's the same gun that Cobra Khan carried, but his was orange. It was the exact same one, where that's like some of the accessories are pretty much indigenous to one specific figure, as far as I can remember, whereas other ones, they just molded them in different plastic. Like, can you think of anyone who had that same weird-looking sword that Merman carried? As far as I know, he was the only one that carried that sword.
Yeah.
Like the
he's
Havoc
only
staff. The Havoc staff only went with Skeletor. I can't think of anyone getting the Havoc staff molded in a specific a different color.
Right.
Whereas, like, what some people may remember is they may have given a specific gun or accessory to Stratos because he needed a weapon. But according to the box art and pictures I'm looking at on this site, it doesn't actually show him holding any specific weapon that would have been the weapon he came with. Now, in the comic book, he had some sort of staff that his Mega Bloks figure, remember, came with that staff that you put together. It had the 4 prongs that came off of it and the ball on top.
Yeah.
But his original vintage figure in the 80s didn't come with that. That was something that was from the comic.
Oh, so that's
scrolling down, and it shows that staff, the emerald staff. This is Stratos dives from the sky towards Skeletor, snatching the emerald staff from him and dropping it to He-Man, where he didn't actually come with that staff in the toy.
I had the toy. I don't recall him having any weapons.
Right. That's what we're wondering. As far as accessories go, I think his arm wing attachments were the accessories.
That was his accessory. Yeah.
Okay, now here's something interesting, guys. Okay, so here's a list of the figures of the Masters of the Universe, and I've realized any of the figures released as a single in the Heroes line are not on here. These are only the figures from the sets.
Am
I wrong there?
Right. That's what I recognize them as.
Yeah, these are all figures exclusive.
Yeah, can you find the Evil Lynn with the actual buildable staff, the staff that she had that you had to put together with the different rings and stuff like that?
Hold on, I'm going to look.
No, I'm late to the party. Have they
quick.
updated the website and there's all kinds of new artwork and stuff?
Yeah, this is new artwork, and there was those weapons. But I wondered, did they? There's the Black Series, but do they have listings for the Heroes? Wow, those look hideous. So products, that just brings me back to this page, right? Okay. I wonder if the heroes figures are listed anywhere.
Sets, figures, accessories.
They were all listed under constructs or mega blocks. What do you think? Mega blocks really now is just the toddler stuff.
Yeah, the first time I remember hearing the name Mega Blocks, I was associated with those oversized, simple blocks in bright colors. So I pretty much ignored Mega Blocks until Halo came out, and I'm like, oh yeah, this changes everything. But now I'm finding out Mega Blocks went further back to the the
Yeah,
the
they,
90s.
I think they tried to reimage the rename, like kind of reimage for the teens and the adult collectors, and did the constructs and then the black series for because look, anything that's got smaller pieces is called constructs. Anything
Yeah,
that's
'cause
got toddler
Duplo
stuff is a block.
is a part of Lego, but Duplo is their small child or toddler
Yeah,
version.
exactly.
Those are those larger. Where am I right in remembering the type of plastic that they used to make the Mega Blocks that were geared towards kids was a softer, almost rubbery block? It seemed almost knockoff-ish, like how some products, like when you look at it, it looks exactly like the actual licensed product, but then when you pick it up, you notice it's lighter and the plastic is cheaper and it's almost rubbery.
Okay, I got something to show you guys related to this
Right.
conversation about our missing figures.
All right.
Let me pull up let me share something here. Window. Okay.
All right. Ready?
So if I go over one of these figures
Yeah.
and I look below, it says the link is going to a page that's named as Skeletor _3. So if I right click and copy that link address and put it in, so it's going to go to this Skeletor, right? But check this out. If I change that to a 1, and if I change it to a 2,
But are all three of those lit on that page?
No. So now what if we do who are we missing?
Well, the single pack. So like your series
So we're
1
missing
Skeletor
Evil.
try Evil Lyn.
How do they spell Evil Lyn's name?
-LYN.
Right, EVIL-LYN.
LYN. So there's that Evil Lyn. That's the one you build, right?
Yeah, that is one of the ones. So you
And
found it.
then if I go -2 or Evil Lyn. So it looks like they're building the pages for them. They just haven't
Listed them all yet.
got them all up yet. So that's sort of an interesting situation. And then I wonder if we just go through the links on the bottom, if sooner or later, if you'll come across. No, it doesn't look like it. There's no rhyme or reason to that. But why? So do you think they're just trying to promote the figures that are in the sets because that's what they have out on the shelves right now?
Yeah, or like you said, maybe they're building it and we're just a step ahead of them right now. Being like, hey, what's going on?
It's nice that their links are so straightforward. It gives us the ability to kind of dig into what they plan on doing next.
Yeah.
So, like if we go products, He-Man, sets, Land Shark, Hordak. Now, some of these have like
Does it
weird.
include the versus set where they had like He-Man versus Beast
No,
Man?
because see, that's not listed as a Masters of the Universe set. That's a battle pack. That's a versus
So,
set.
if I
I
do
think we
copy
discussed
link.
that last week.
So that one with a Land Shark at the end takes you to Land Shark, which means that if we do something like, oh, I don't know, Snake Mountain.
Or yeah, Roton. Yeah, you didn't go. Yeah, you did. Okay.
Would that have been great if there was a secret Snake Mountain page?
Would have been like first scene.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping too. Yeah, you can't find it and click it. You have to individually
Yeah.
type it in. That makes sense.
Or if we
That-
could
that
just
was
see,
kind of
oh
thing
wait,
would
if
be
I go sets, it shows me all the things that they're showing.
That's a Roton.
Yeah. But see, what the problem with some of these is like the names aren't like this is battle dash cat dash versus dash Roton. Like nobody's ever
Yeah.
going to come up with that.
Yeah, really.
right. That's important.
It is interesting.
Now, did either of you have the actual Evil In figure back in the 80s?
I did not.
I feel like I
Because
did.
I'm looking at some of these older photos, and in some of these production shots, it shows her holding a full staff that, like, in reality looks like it would be about 3 feet long. It's not a full, staff that's as tall as she is, but it's a pretty long stick. And then there's like a cone shaped head on it, and then there's like a 3-prong clawed hand holding a ball that in reality looks like it'd be larger than a maybe it's like about a 5-inch diameter ball. But then it shows images when I scroll further down from the box art on the back. Has a picture, and she's holding, it's not even a staff, it's just that ball, as if the ball was removable, that she could take it off of the stick, and it's just like a smaller crystal ball on a tiny little handle that she would hold in her hand. And I'm wondering, like, are they gonna do in the future do a figure where it would be because you've seen the images now where she's not holding that that buildable staff. It's just one of those projectiles from one of the sets. What was the first set that had that? Was it the Talon Fighter had those launchable sticks with a ball at the end?
Yeah.
That that actually is closer in resemblance to what I'm looking at, what the toy came with. That looks closer to it. It's not as fancy, it's much more simpler. But in some of the, in the comic art, she's holding. There is no staff. It's just that crystal ball on the end of a little handle that she would hold. And like that's another variant because they've already did the 2000X variant where she's wearing a black outfit instead of because like now we have her in purple and her in with the purple with did they do her with the purple with the yellow skin because she's in blue with the yellow skin, but did they do purple with the yellow skin, or is she regular flesh
blue with yellow? We've got like pink skin with black, pink skin with purple,
Right.
Blue with isn't the yellow with blue, yellow skin, blue outfit? Wasn't that the one that was just released? The pictures.
Yeah, that was in Series 4.
Yeah, I don't
And those are the
have
ones you're
all-
talking
Yellow,
about. They're
y-
they're
yellow
not showing up
skin.
on the site.
No, they don't. I'm not finding them.
Well, that's just it. Yeah, they're not listed on that. So hold on.
Yeah, see, I would imagine that without checking, I would think that they would have every single version that was produced, that was marketed, would be on the site.
Yeah. I've always felt that
Unless-
there's been a major disconnect between the product that's shipping, the product that's shipped, and the site since the beginning of this series. Like we've always had things show up that that may not even be shipped, and we've had things that it seems like there's a disconnect. Because remember, for a while there, we could actually see the figures that were supposed to be in the holiday gift pack.
Right.
They were coming up in her figures.
Were we looking at actual photographs of figures, or were they
Oh no, they were renderings.
Renders,
They were
right?
renders.
Yeah. It's really hard to tell. Some of those renders
and maybe
are
that's
really
part of
good.
the issue too, is they just don't have the photos in to put up. And it looks like the photos they're posting right now, they're trying to put some sort of
down there at the end. Oh, and also, right? Yeah, I've seen a couple of examples of the blue outfit with the yellow skin, and she's holding the buildable
staff. Yeah.
So yeah, it looks like we've got one.
Is there 3?
There's three copies that came in the hero packs.
I think it's 3. There's the yellow with blue, the skin,
Yellow with blue,
the natural skin with purple, and then the natural skin with black.
Yeah.
You recognize the giant sphere that she has on the end of this stick right here. It's too big, but that's the ball that was. There was one version that came with one of the Skeletor skull sets, and then there was the other one that was in the little closet that's at the top of Castle Grayskull. That I want something like bigger than that little ball joint that came with the actual staff, but not as big as this giant beach ball at the end. I want a version of her that's a smaller orb than this, but bigger than that little, ball on a stick that she's coming with now. That's also one of those marketing things that I remember being told. Never give a customer exactly what they want on their first visit. Make them come back for something better.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, someone else found a better. Now, is that a custom? That one image there with all the evil Lins side by side.
Those three,
the one with is that, because you notice the ball is bigger. See that?
Yeah.
Then the other one, that was I want the orb to be slightly bigger than that. That's the actual product that was the hero pack when she came by herself. And then I noticed when they reissued her into purple, they got cheap. Right. Yeah, that's the actual one. It's still not big enough. They actually went smaller. They went cheap and made a smaller. It's one of those ball joint pieces.
Yeah, well, the other ones, yeah, exactly. It's just a ball joint piece.
And they went cheaper. And then I'm also thinking, like, when they issue her again, they'll do a better version of her staff. Then they went even cheaper and went with, it's just a stick with a ball at the end. And I'm like, you guys are going in the wrong direction. Where it's like, I will overkill, and her crystal ball is way, way too big on this version.
Yeah, that's true. That ball in Grayskull is too large. Way too large.
But if anyone is wondering, yeah, I did it.
That's actually a neat idea.
But the reason I did it is because, now I've had it on that for a long time. It's I took it apart, but it's removable. That if I pull out that other piece, you have that one single small piece. Oh, it's in there pretty good. I can't get it out. But that one, like the smallest piece that they make, it's just a little tiny short rod that has the ring in the middle, and it's used to like pin figures to a chair so that they don't come sliding out of a chair.
Yeah.
But that was the point of when I did it, because I remember that image that's on the back of the original 1980s box art. It has a picture of her crouching down, sneaking up on He-Man, and she's holding that crystal ball, but it's just by that little tiny little small handle. It's not the whole entire staff. It's just that little ball. So like that's one of the assumptions I'm making, that at some point they're going to give her a full staff that the top of it is removable, so she has like that crystal ball part that she can hold in her hand, like the original box art that they had on the back. But that's just that's just a guess. When I had heard the rumor that there's multiple versions they can do. There's the toy version, the Filmation version, and the mini comic version, and then she has the 2000X, and then the same thing with like Tila. There is the Filmation version that didn't have the serpent headdress. There is the mini comic version, but there's multiple mini comic versions of Tila. There's even one of them I've seen that she looks exactly like she does in Filmation, only everything she's wearing is shades of pink, and that was one of those proposed, customs. The variant that I had seen images of, that they have her in pink, and I'm like, that's another variant that, like, yeah, as a collector, I want that variant, and that's what the marketing is all about, is making money. We want to get the customers to buy as many versions of the figures for them to be a completionist. That
Right.
I want a even though I think it's a bad idea, I want a flocked version of Moss Man who was only available with that Battle Bones set. Even though flocked figures is a bad idea, but you don't. I wouldn't take him out of the package. But he's in a when you got him, he's in a an envelope. He's not carded. There is no carded flocked Moss Man. Although, did you see the custom someone did? Someone made custom carded figures of the little small Mega Bloks figures, and I'm like, that's a great idea. I would like to do that.
Hey, Chris, did this conversation about the staff come about because of the photo that's out of the Evil End figure that they're saying is going to be released?
Kind of, yeah.
Because that staff is different. Have you noticed that stuff?
Right, yeah. It's not an actual staff. It's one of the projectiles that
but
come
the
with one of the
proportion
launchers.
is closer to what you're talking about.
Right. That's exactly what I'd said earlier. That, like, as far as proportion goes, it's the proper proportion. It's just oversimplified, because the actual toy, it's a 3-clawed, hand holding the orb, and then there's an actual, like, a cone shape attachment that it would make sense that you could detach the full, a long staff, and then put a shorter handle in there to emulate the image from the mini comic,
because
the
that
production shot on the back of her holding it in a small short staff with the big ball on the end.
That projectile, if they would just make a 3-pronged claw with a hole in the center that you could slide up to the top, it would look like that ball's being held.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
By a claw. I mean, it would take
that's
one
another
piece.
one of those things. I don't know, but anyone that has knowledge of inventory of do they already have some sort of a pre-made
3-prong piece of
something that would
would
work as that piece?
Because it would be done. Like, boom. What's that?
That's the
That's
projectile.
the missile piece, right?
Yeah, that's a projectile. Now
Right.
imagine something that has a hole in the center
That
Yeah.
slid up
that
around
has
the,
three
the ball.
prongs on it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean that's gonna be
But
small. That's gonna be like
that's the neat
almost
thing
the
about
size
Mega
of my hand.
Blocks is, how much different variations you can get out of, pre-existing, pieces they have. And like a lot of times we would hear rumors like, oh, when Land Shark came out and we were all wondering, how are they going to do the teeth? Are the teeth going to be, some sort of a pre-existing product that they had? They just could have mold it in different color, or they had to come up with a whole new piece just to do that, the teeth parts for the jaws to look right. And some of the items, because I don't collect all the sets, I have no idea if some of the smaller piece they have that has that little, it's not even a full stud. It's just a little round piece that attaches to a stud, and then it kind of replaces, remember the angled piece where it has two studs on top and then it has a 90-degree angle, and then there will be either two studs on the side or four studs on the side, or sometimes there are holes that you fit the studs into. That piece has gotten too large and cumbersome to get some of the intricate, workings to make, smaller pieces to make it look more accurate. So they had to come up with that little tiny little, fold over piece. And the very first time I saw that was when those they came up with like multiple bags. One bag, you could make like a frog and an owl and a boat, and that was the first time I saw those launching sets. Remember that there was like some of those, random. It was a random bag of pieces, and it gave you directions to make like 4 or 5 different, simple items. And one of the things that also included in there were rubber bands. There were pieces that actually, use rubber bands. Did you ever get one of those sets? It uses rubber bands to make like a open and closing jaw. And
I
so
never saw that.
that's the first time I saw some of those pieces, and I'm wondering, are they in other sets that I don't collect? Those Friends sets, or even now the discontinued, when you first started building that set, that was the Monster High. I was almost going to ask, are they bringing that back? Which no, they're not.
They're not.
But whatever happened to Monster High, that was replaced with I'm sure some other product. Who even made that? Was that a Mattel thing or some other
I don't know.
manufacturer?
I'll have to look into that for next week. I'm gonna have to cut the live stream for now. So
That
I
was
appreciate
fast.
you. Yeah, well, we started late and we're running late, so but I'm getting messages.
Yeah, but the timer starts as soon as you go live. So even if you went live
There
10
you
minutes
go.
after the hour, it still
We're at
says
58 minutes.
58
So,
minutes.
But yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out. Thank you for anyone who watched. Shout out to Seth. He did show up in the chat. And we will see you next time.
Oh, he left. He cut it off.
And I think we're still live.
So how long will it stay live until it ends?
I don't know, but I was just thinking about that claw thing. How did the xenomorph hands work?